What's up, guys? This is Luis Montoya. Today we're going to be talking about how to get started as a personal trainer. Where do you begin? How do you even get in the fitness industry? And how do you build a business? All right, so I'm not going to get super crazy with this video because this is going to be a three-step video. And today we're going to be covering the very beginning, where to start as a personal trainer. So for those of you guys who don't know, I'm a private celebrity personal trainer and I work based out of San Marcos. So I've been very blessed to build a six-figure business off of personal training, and I do have online coaching as well. So how did I get started, guys? Let me take it all the way back because I know maybe some of you guys are barely getting into fitness and you guys are striving to become personal trainers and you guys are overthinking it. Okay, so first of all, what I did is I'm going to be sharing my story of how I got started and how you can do the exact same thing to be able to build a platform and build a brand to make sure that you're successful. Okay, so what I did, some of you guys know that I was overweight, so I was 240 pounds, 50% body fat. I was able to lose 100 pounds of fat and got down to 175 pounds with as low as 6% body fat. This was through a transition of maybe about 6 years, 7 years, and I've been personal training for maybe about close to 3 years now. So how did I start, guys? It wasn't all like, it's been a roller coaster ride. So it wasn't all success in the very beginning. And some of you guys are just starting to get fit and you guys are thinking about personal training. So where do you guys start? Okay, so what I did, guys, is first of all, you want to get certified, all right? Super important that you guys stay certified. Where do you go for certifications? There's tons of online programs where you can get certified, guys. There's NASM, there's tons of them. Just look them up. What you want to do is just go on Google and search personal training certifications, all right? So that's step number one, getting certified. Step number two is think about what it is that you want to do. Do you want to be independent as a personal trainer, or do you want to work for corporate? And I'm going to be talking about the two. So working for corporate means that you're going to be working for a big, gym that's already established, meaning like 24-hour fitness, LA Fitness, Planet Fitness, Crunch Fitness, or any of these franchises or gyms that are already established that require personal trainers. Now, being private like myself means that you run your own business. And how do you train people? So there's tons of different ways that you can train people, guys. There's facilities where you can rent space. Right now here in Southern California, we have amazing gyms such as Self-Made Training Facility, and they have franchises everywhere. They're starting to spread out, but not just Self-Made. There's I can't think of any other one off the top of my head, but there's tons of them, guys. You can just do a Google search and see, or a Yelp search for private gyms and see how much they would charge you for an hourly rate or a monthly rate, whatever it is that they charge. So how do you start? Remember, we got to get certified. That's step number one. I personally wasn't certified in the very beginning, and what I did, guys, is I started just helping people. So I started training a lot of my friends. Luckily me, I was already into bodybuilding. As I started losing the weight, I started investing into professional coaches and trainers, and I learned form, technique, a lot of the theory behind it. So I made an investment in myself, guys, to be able to learn from the best and make sure that my form was proper and I was learning different techniques, not just with the fitness training portion, but also with the nutrition side, which is very, very important. I'm going to be covering that a little later. Why you want to learn from coaches sometimes rather than just taking a certification online. So the difference between the two is, when you take a certification online, they're going to be teaching you the basics of nutrition, which is fantastic. That's going to be your baseline, guys. But personally, I think you should be investing in either a professional nutritionist or someone who knows how to transform people. So what I did is I started investing in nutritional coaches, such as prep coaches for bodybuilding. I invested in a lot of different ones. Each one of them taught me different ways to manipulate diets, calories, understand the theory behind them and how food affects your body, because this is going to be very important, guys, towards later on in your career when you start dealing with different people. So personally myself, I'm a transformation specialist. So I deal with a lot of people that are either obese, overweight, or some people are even skinny. And all these people are, different body types. So you got to know how to like be able to transform each one of them. So it's super important that you guys invest in that. Okay. So what I did to backtrack is I started, just training a lot of my friends. A lot of my friends saw the weight loss transformation that I had. They're very intrigued. So they asked me if I can train them. So I would go to 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, which, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Everybody does it, but it is frowned upon. So you gotta be careful if you're gonna be doing this. But what I did is I wasn't technically personally training them. I was actually working out with them. So I would just tell them, hey, come on and join me for a workout. And I started teaching them. I started designing a program for them that they can follow, and they would pretty much be my workout partners. But I was training at the time. So this is something that you can start doing to build up your portfolio. Start getting some of your friends, family members, or people who are really, really looking for a change. The downside to this, guys, is like in the very beginning, you're gonna have to do a lot of this stuff for free. And this is where creating value comes into play, because you gotta get people's trust. And I'm gonna be explaining this on the part 2 video, how to make a sale. And, making sales is all about building trust with your clientele, okay? So it all goes back to, make sure you have authority. So I started building programs for people, and I started documenting everything. It's super important, guys, that you guys document everything from the beginning. So if you're helping your brother, your cousin, your friend, or whoever it is, make sure that you guys ask for transformation pictures. This is gonna be your before picture. Make sure you take a front, a side, and a back picture, waistline measurements, arms and legs, scale weight as well. So what I did is I started documenting everything, in either bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it is that you decide to do. I started documenting the process of this, and eventually I started getting transformations. So I would tell them, hey, I would train you for free if you let me document this whole journey. Unfortunately, you are gonna have a lot of slackers in the very beginning because people are not invested into your program. They're not paying for anything. So at any moment, they can just quit. So that's the downside to this. But again, when you're starting in the very beginning, it's very hard to get some of these transformations. But to me, providing value for free in exchange for a transformation, it's well worth your time, guys, because once you start accumulating these transformations, this is your portfolio, and this is how you sell yourself, okay? So you get certified, you make sure that you invest in a coach that can teach you the knowledge that you need, hands-on, not just online certification or anything like that, but you need the hands-on, guys. 3, ask your friends, if you can train them or if they need help or anything like that. 4, make sure you document the whole thing, because once you do, amazing results will happen and you're gonna have something to show for, okay? So now you have the transformations and now you have the certification, guys. Now this is where you start thinking about building a business, okay? So I'm gonna be talking about 2 different things right here before we go on to the next step, because I wanna keep this super short. You're gonna be thinking about, do you wanna go into a private gym or do you wanna go into a corporate gym? Now, guys, the corporate gyms, I personally think, are great to get your feet wet, and it's something where you can learn from others. And you know what? Not you in the beginning, you're not going to know it all. A lot of private trainers, or even everybody, their egos are so big that you think you know everything, and you don't want to take advice from anybody else. But guys, if you surround yourself with like-minded individuals, there's so much stuff that you can actually learn from others if you actually ask questions. So it's super important that you ask questions. So I do recommend that you go to a corporate gym. The downside to this is that you're going to be taking a big cut out of your pay. So for example, don't quote my numbers, but last time I have checked, I know corporate gyms like 24-Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, they charge about $100 an hour for 1 hour of training, and they only pay their trainers $20 an hour, which if you're making minimum wage, that sounds like a lot, but in reality, it's really not, because they're charging the client $100 and they're only giving you $20 of that, all right? So now if you're working at a corporate private gym, you can literally charge a full rate. And starting off, I highly recommend people to start at maybe $40 an hour to $50 an hour. Seems very reasonable. I've gotten up to $100 an hour, and I'm planning to get up to $200 eventually an hour. And it's just I've got plans that range anywhere from online plans that range anywhere from $299 all the way up to $1,500. But the cool thing about all this, guys, is like once you start locking in your people, I've got clients that pay me about $1,500 to $2,000 a month per person. So if you start accumulating 10 clients or more, you're easily going to start breaking 6 figures, right? So it's super important that you start thinking about that. Now, breaking 6 figures in a corporate gym is going to be very difficult. The good thing about corporate gyms is that some of them do offer, health insurance, and your hourly rate also determines that you're going to have a steady paycheck. Now, being private, you got to hustle, guys, and we're going to be talking about like what it takes to become a private trainer, and how to be a successful private trainer. So that's going to be a whole different video, but I just wanted to cover at the very beginning on like how to start a personal training business, guys. Now also you can do boot camps, and you can do one-on-one personal training. You can also do 30-minute sessions. There's so many different ways that you can go about this, guys. They're all really good. Like boot camps are great because that's volume. Unfortunately, now you can't go and just train at the park, or you can't go train people at the beach or anything like that like you used to, because the city will sue you. So you got to be careful not to do that. So once you get certified, guys, start thinking about if you're going to go private, or start thinking about if you're going to go corporate. And we can talk about a little bit more fully about how to market yourself. But in the very beginning, guys, you want to make sure that you provide free value, because providing free value is going to accumulate to trust. And once you build trust, you're going to be able to make sales. Once you make sales, you're going to be able to build a culture. Once you build a culture, guys, you're going to be successful. Hope that helps.